You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back with Jerry Ochiltree, who is president and CEO of First Bank. We're calling them the new kid on the block, even though you did have, what, two branches?
Yes, that's correct.
Before the cooperative takeover. Give us a short history of First Bank and how it got started and the story of its growth.
Okay. First Bank, we're headquartered in Troy, North Carolina. Small town that's south of Raleigh, I guess, east of Greensboro and Charlotte markets. Kind of a little rural mill community in the Sandhills, I guess. And we were formed in 1935. Really started out as a small bank there in Montgomery County, as a bank at Montgomery. And as you know,
that was the first name of it, Bank of Montgomery.
Bank of Montgomery, and kind of a small family, small community bank there, just in the area. And then I guess back in the '60s they started to branched out into Moore County, down into the Pinehurst area, over into Robbins.
Was this from acquisition or just opening?
Just from de novo, just opened up from scratch.
More branches.
Yeah, from scratch, and then just started branching out from there into various markets, and then I guess about 10 years ago, we actually bought a bank. Well, actually about 15 years ago now. Time flies, Don. You're having fun.
How long have you been with?
I've been with them 10 years.
Okay.
I've been with them 10 years, and bought a bank up in the High Point, North Carolina market, and then I actually came with the bank in 1998. So I've actually got through celebrating my 11th year with the bank. And when I came with the bank 11 years ago, we were $300 million in assets.
And now you're
$3.6 billion. So we've had some tremendous growth in the last 10 to 11 years, and we've bought branches off of some of the bigger banks that want to get out of some of the rural markets, but that's our niche, And some of the bigger banks, I guess they look at the branches that can only make $300,000 or $400,000 a year, and it's not enough money for them. But hey, I'll take 10 of those branches and be a good partner in that community. And we've done some acquisitions in South Carolina. We've done 2 acquisitions in South Carolina. In 2001, the board came to me, and we actually went to Virginia and opened up there just from scratch. I was a former president and CEO of a bank in Virginia.
So you knew the area.
I knew the area and had the people up there who wanted to come back to go to work for me, and just went up there and started from scratch. And we're about $250 million in assets up in the Virginia market now.
What were your biggest concerns about biting off the cooperative operation and coming into this market?
I think the biggest thing that you have to look at in a deal like this is, given the size the cooperative was, one, I think you hit on earlier, Don, is we want to make sure that we continue that culture in the communities, and let the community knows where they're supportive. Probably from our standpoint is the operational risk, making sure that we get all the systems in together in a timely fashion, so that the customers don't feel any pain, and we're going to make that happen. Smooth transition.
Yeah. Considering the economic climate and everything else that's going on, is this a good time for an expansion like this? Or is there ever a good or bad time?
Well, that's a great question. I think it is a good time for First Bank to expand. We are a very strong, healthy bank. We've kind of stuck to our niches over the past few years. We looked at a lot of M&A opportunities, but just really passed on them because we just couldn't get it to our comfort level. And with the way we structured this deal with an FDIC assisted deal, they capitalized the deal for me. They paid me a check, or myself and my shareholders a check to take this bank. So this deal for First Bank.
The FDIC pays First Bank, the corporation, money to take the bank?
The way we structured
take the operation?
The way we structured the deal, yes, sir. And then with the loan loss agreement that we talked about earlier, where we have that protection also on the back end with any losses, it's a great deal for First Bank and our shareholders.
Did First Bank get any federal bailout money?
Yes, we did. And this is a good way to put it to use. At the time, the capital markets were just totally dried up. You couldn't go get any money. And to continue to grow your company, you've got to have capital. And also, we felt that there was going to be some of these deals to come our way, or some of the big banks wanted to sell branches or stuff like that, and you got to have capital to do that. So, and that money was really cheap at the time. So we actually took $65 million in the TARP money.
But that has to be paid back.
That has to be paid back. That's correct.
Did you have, or did First Bank have any or many troubled, what they were calling troubled assets during the peak of the banking crisis?
No. We were very clean. We didn't have any of these subprime mortgage loans on our books. Not one loan to that industry. overall, we were very clean. Last year, we were rated one of the top 33 banks in the country by Sandler & Neal Investment Firm. So we've kept a pretty healthy and clean balance sheet over the time.
How competitive is this market in banking?
This day and age, it's very competitive. It's very competitive.
The Wilmington market is?
Yes, yes. I think all markets are.
Yeah.
All markets are.
Do you have what you mentioned, the big players? Are they in Troy and most of the markets that you're already in?
No, they're not. That's a nice thing about it. We really don't compete with those guys.
You don't?
That much in some of our markets. Even the markets they're in, they seem to be after a different customer than we're after. We're after the small, the mid-sized business guy. You know, the guy that wants to borrow that $50,000 to $500,000 to $1 million loan. You know, that's, you know, employs 10 to 15, 20, you know, people, 5 people, whatever. That's our niche, and they seem to kind of, you know, shy away from that, and that's our bread and butter. That's right in our, you know, that's right in our basket wheel where we want to be.
How's your stock doing?
Our stock is doing well.
Yeah.
It's up about 40% since we announced this acquisition, so our stock is trading very well. Was
there a big movement either way right after it was announced?
The first few days it moved a little bit, but I'll tell you, in the last 2 weeks, it's really taken off. We closed north of $18 yesterday, and we've not been in that range for almost a year.
So your stockholders are applauding right now?
Exactly.
What do you think your success in this market will depend on?
Our people. Really, the people, when getting out here and communicating to, you know, people like yourself and to the media, you know, about who First Bank is and what we're about, and that we're a good, you know, healthy bank. You know, we're here to do business. You know, I made a big investment in this community. We're not going to just roll over and play dead. You know, we're here to do business in the community and continue to grow. And we'd like to become a household name in the Wilmington market.
Any consideration about moving the corporate headquarters from Troy to Wilmington?
Not at this time. Like I said, we're very pleased to be in a small rural community, and I think that's really what separates us from the big guys in Charlotte. And we hire people like Brad Mickle and his team of people here in the Wilmington market, and we give them the authority to really make things happen. And I think that's is kind of our niche, is staying behind the scenes in a small area and getting out here and making it happen.
That's your chief executive officer in this area?
Yes, Brad. He's my regional executive that's in charge of this area.
We're just about out of time, Jerry. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll come back and do more as First Bank continues to operate in this region.
It's been my pleasure.
Great. Jerry Ochiltree, President and CEO of First Bank, our guest. If you'd like to go to online and watch Byline Wilmington, it's at WILM-TV.com. For Byline Wilmington, I'm Don Ansel. We'll see you next week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning at 11 as we explore the issues that concern you.